Astria Ascending is an upcoming Japanese RPG that is beginning to get quite a bit of buzz, and as we're getting closer and closer to the release of the game, in this video, I want to take a look at everything you need to know about the game before you drop your $40, whether you're buying the game on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One Series, Nintendo Switch, PC. It's coming to a host of platforms, but there's a lot of ground to cover on a game that some people are taking note of, but also is going a bit under the radar in the grand scheme of things, given that we are in this big time of a lot of game releases. Astria Ascending, if you're a Japanese RPG fan, should definitely be a title that you are on the lookout for. Now, right off the top, I do like to talk a little bit about the development studio, and here we have a studio that might not be all too familiar to you guys, and that is Artisan Studio. It is a French studio, however, they have some pretty iconic figures working on the game. They've teamed up with composer of Final Fantasy XII and Hitoshi Sakamoto, as well as the writer of Final Fantasy VII, Kazuhide Nojima, to work on Astria Ascending. And as you can see in the game, it has that JRPG aesthetic, that flair, and off the top, I think a lot of people are going to take note of that art style. It's a beautiful, beautiful game with hand-drawn visuals that you can play at up to 4K resolution, and right off the top, that is probably going to get people excited. Now let's talk about Astria Ascending itself, which has a lot of information that is dropped about the game. Again, coming to a host of platforms, PS5 Series, PS4, X1 Switch, PC. The game's official description from publisher Dear Villagers notes, "It's an epic adventure with the charm and pedigree of a classic JRPG. Astria Ascending tells an expansive story of fate, sacrifice, and new beginnings. The game was developed in partnership with publisher Dear Villagers and boasts contributions from world-class JRPG developers with a score by Hitoshi Sakamoto, Final Fantasy XII and Vagrant Story fame, narrative by Kazuhide Nojima, Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy VII Remake, and art from side designation Akihiko Yoshida and Hideo Minaba." The game's setting notes, "In a world where chaos looms, players take control of the demigods, a motley crew of 8 heroes charged with the fate of the world. Each character has their own story explored across 5 cities, 25 dungeons, and 30 hours of gameplay, and up to 50 hours of said gameplay if you are looking to go for the 100% completion rate. Along with the finely tuned turn-based combat, players can try out a range of side quests and mini-games, including an original fantasy-themed token game." So do expect quite a bit of variety in the content, and when you're looking at the gameplay itself, it is very traditional in the sense of it being a turn-based combat system, an epic story that is said to be rewarding. All the makings for a fundamentally great JRPG seem to be apparent here, and Artisan Studio knows the target audience for JRPG fans. When you tell us an epic story that's going to be rewarding, turn-based combat system for a lot of people is still what they look for out of a classic JRPG, and that's definitely what this game is going for. That is immediately going to have an audience attached to it. The official Steam page also gives some more information about the game. Explore the vast and beautiful world of Orkanen, visit 5 different cities populated by unique creatures, and solve more than 20 dangerous dungeons with over 50 hours of gameplay and a range of fun mini-games, including shoot-em-ups, an originally fantasy-themed card game, and challenging environmental puzzles. So the actual content-wise, it looks to be a little bit in flux. They're supposed to saying 30 to 50 hours. I imagine 30 hours to naturally go through the main storyline without doing all of the side content, but I'm sure if you rush, you can probably complete it a little bit quicker than that, and then if you really, really take your time, do all the content, 50 hours, and then you do have some elements that hopefully will make the game a little bit more replayable in a fantasy-themed card game, shoot-em-ups, mini-games, everything like that. Also notes, a grand tale of fate and sacrifice. Immerse yourself in a fascinating narrative rife with betrayal, sacrifice, and terrors. A story based around adult characters, Astria Ascending offers a more mature experience and extensive dialogue. Now, let me go from a personal standpoint. I am starting to get a little bit tired of the zero to hero JRPG main character storyline. It can absolutely work, and Tales of Arise kind of has that zero to hero JRPG, and I've been talking very highly about that game, but a lot of JRPGs do go for that zero to hero fundamental, and I get that from a shonen JRPG standpoint, it could definitely work, and that's definitely something that's catering to a lot of people, but I also like JRPGs with a relatively mature story and something that is going to be a little bit deeper and nuanced, and it looks like Astria Ascending is going for a narrative that's more akin to that. although more styles can absolutely work. It also notes a rewarding turn-based combat system, fight over 200 different monsters in captivating turn-based combat, collect and summon legendary beasts into the fight, and build up your power to wield legendary Cosmo Breaks, mean an unforgettable cast of characters, and the cast of characters looks very vast and diverse in terms of style and presentation. Pick from 8 customizable characters spanning a range of fantastical races and skills, and assemble a heroic team that must sacrifice everything to save the world, with 20 classes to choose from and an array of unique skills to command. Their fates are doomed, but the world is not. In a hand-drawn adventure crafted with skill and passion from a team featuring developers from Final Fantasy, Nier Automata, Bravely Default, Astria Ascending, includes full voice acting in Japanese and English, a traditionally animated, fully hand-drawn 2D world, and a dynamic weather system. So they're actually running the gamut in terms of having quality developers, a weather system which isn't that common in a JRPG, and both Japanese and English voice acting, which I know a lot of people are going to appreciate. Expect each of the 8 characters in the game, as you would expect, to have their own story and be captivating in their own unique way, and that's really one of the elements they're going for with the cast of Astria Ascending. These characters are incredibly unique just when you look at how they are presented, all with distinct presentations, all seemingly looking to have their own backstory and compelling narratives attached to them, and that's kind of needed considering they'll be the ones who are anchoring this story, these demigods that you will be playing as. And there are 20 classes to choose from and a variety of different skills to be mastered attached to these classes as well. Now, Astria Ascending will be released on September 30th, and as I mentioned, the game will be released on just about every platform: Nintendo Switch, X1 Series, PS4, PS5, and PC. The game will be released at a $40 price point, so it is already a relative budget release. However, if you do have an Xbox One, Xbox Series, or PC, you may want to know that the game will be available directly through Xbox Game Pass, so that might make the game an even more enticing playthrough for yourself. Now, if you're a big JRPG fan, might be a game you want to check out day one or wait on the reviews for. I'm just here to give you guys the information, but given that it is a relative budget price point, given that we are getting $60 and $70 games these days, and this one is looking to give you a healthy amount of content. I mean, if 30 hours is generally the playthrough we can expect, maybe shave off 5 hours for those of you that rush a little bit, 25 hours even, that seems like a pretty decent amount of content for $40. But that's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Are you excited for Astria Ascending? Is this a game you're gonna be picking up? Personally, I'm very much looking forward to it, and considering I'm finishing up Tales of Arise at this point, I'm excited to jump into a new JRPG, and this one looks to have my attention at this point. So that's gonna do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.